Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to do this messed up voodoo doll monster kind of thing. So yeah, let's get started. I'm starting off with some good old latex that you will most likely see in every single one of my videos, or at least SFX tutorials. And I'm laying down a layer of this onto my table, and then using paper towels. I just decided to use paper towels instead of toilet paper, just to see if it would work any better or differently, or if it would add cool different textures or whatever, which it did actually look different than toilet paper. I guess this looked more like the burlap for like a voodoo doll, I guess, that kind of texture. So that's kind of what I got with this. I did one layer of paper towel and then continued doing a bunch of layers of latex. And then I'm just going to slowly begin peeling it. Wait, no. I'm creating an X into this because this is going to be the prosthetic for our eyes, or one of our eyes, and I'm going to just create a little X in the middle of it and cut it up to my liking. I'm using flour to set the prosthetic as well as remove the prosthetic with flour, just so nothing sticks to itself and it's a lot easier to use and touch. Now for application time, I'm using 70% isopropyl alcohol to clean around my nose and cheek area so the masking tape can adhere easily to our skin. And I'm using masking tape to block out our nose and apply that around our nose, just like I'm doing here. And then I stuffed the sides with a cotton pad to give the masking tape support. Applied some Vaseline to my eyebrows so they didn't get pulled off. And now I'm using a cotton pad and some latex to adhere that to one of my eyes. I wanted my right eye to be not visible. I don't know why, I just chose the right eye. Then I'm applying Vaseline around my hairline so we don't get latex stuck in our hair. And then I'm just going to apply more latex around that cotton pad just to begin blending out the edges. But don't worry, we're going to be putting more tissue or paper towel around that to blend out the edges even more. Now I'm going to be using some 3rd degree, which is a 2-part silicone molding component, and you can use these to mold whatever you'd like on your face. So I'm mixing equal parts of A and B and using a palette and a spatula to apply this in a square, kind of like if you were to have a patch missing out of the voodoo doll, and then it was kind of like re-sewn back in. So I pretty much made a square patch and then a line in between that to show an edge between the patch and the like voodoo doll skin, I guess. Once I have the basic shape of that patch on our cheek, I'm going to be using some Vaseline on my finger just to smooth out the edges, and yeah, this is a really easy way to help smooth out your edges. Then I'm also using 3rd degree around my mouth to create a wider, more open, creepy looking smile, and I'm just using this to extend the outer edges of my lips pretty much. Once I'm done with all the molding and whatever I want to do around my face, I'm going to be using a bunch of layers of liquid latex all over my entire face. I kind of just wanted to make this a full face prosthetic after I had everything molded so I could peel it off in one piece, and using the latex will help create a really gross texture around our face. Then I'm going to take that prosthetic we made earlier, and that's going to be covering the one eye, and I just cut this and shaped it to whatever, but then I realized I'm going to get as much painting and as much done before I put that on because it's going to be very, very hard to see. So I'm starting off with a Ben Nye bruise wheel, and I'm going to be taking a dark color and I'm going to fill in that eye socket. I didn't want it to be completely black, but I wanted it to have some red tones in there too, and then I took the monster wheel and I used that black color around my eyes. Then I'm taking a black eyeliner, I believe from NYX, and I'm just going to tightline and waterline, applied some latex to the back of that prosthetic, and then I'm just going to apply it like that. I know the X on this wasn't super perfect, which I didn't really want it to be super perfect because you want it to be really, really messy and stuff, but make sure there is somewhat of a hole in the middle so you can see out of as best as possible. starting to blend out the edges with some latex, applying more latex, and now I'm going to use that paper towel. And I did actually tear the paper towel into 2 halves like you would do with toilet paper to create the different plies. I'm pretty much doing the same thing with the paper towel, and it just added a really, really cool, gross, really different texture than you would get from toilet paper. Now I'm going to be doing some thread work, I guess, like if this whole doll was stitched up in a million different places. I would actually suggest doing this after you paint the prosthetic, but I didn't really think of that at the time, so I'm just using tweezers, twine, and latex to apply the little stitching hoops, I guess, like little loops around the eye socket where it could have been. The X would be like kind of stitched closed, I guess, and I'm just using those stitches. I'm also later in a little bit, you're going to see me applying the stitches to the mouth, and I'm just going to be doing that all over the mouth and the eye, pretty much any open wounds, as well as that patch we have on the side of our cheek. I'm also going to be putting some stitches on there. Starting off with a dark brown grease paint. You can use any brown you'd like. I went towards a darker tone, so later I can use lighter tones to break up the color. But I'm using this brown color on a sponge to apply that all over the face. That wasn't working out super great, so I switched to a paintbrush and applying this base color. Now going in with a lighter beige kind of tan color. I'm kind of using this on the high points of my face as well as just kind of putting this generally everywhere to break up the color. Then using a black grease paint to once again generally break up the colors. So it's not just a single color. I want it to be a multi-color thing, I guess. It'd give more dimension as well as texture. Now I'm taking this dark purple blue kind of color, and I'm just going to be filling in my mouth with this, which I should have done before I did the stitches, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna take that and fill in my mouth, and then I'm taking this lighter purple and putting this also in my mouth. Once again, break up the color, add texture and dimension, and just so it's not a solid color. Now I'm taking a more red tone, and I believe I'm putting this into the socket of my little cheek patch, I guess, and I'm going to begin filling that in. Now taking a darker red tone grease paint from the Ben Nye bruise wheel, and I'm going to be filling that into the patch as well. Then taking some Meyron coagulated blood and just putting that into that little patch. Using that same blood just around the eye socket. Maybe this voodoo doll is bleeding. Maybe it's just really, really dirty and bloody. I don't know, but I thought it looked great. Applying some more of that coagulated blood around the mouth, because once again, it just seems like it fits. Then applying the coagulated blood all around that eye socket, because if it's missing an eye, it's probably bleeding if it was a living voodoo doll. Then breaking up the texture and color even more, gonna take this coagulated blood on a sponge and just stipple that everywhere. Then taking some Ben Nye dark blood, and I'm gonna begin to drip this from all of the bleeding areas and wounds. So the mouth, the little cheek missing patch. As well as some dripping blood from that missing eye socket. And that's it. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video with a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below what you guys think, as well as subscribe to become a beauty and be a part of our beautiful world. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye.